My name is Liz Korir.
Liz Korir.
No, but then Liz ni Elizabeth. Elizabeth C. Korir.
The C is
Elizabeth Chebge Moi Korir. For those who have been asking, all my life, all I have known is church.
So it's your mom that's a pastor?
My mom is the pastor, so I was closer to dad. Also because, again, I grew up fearing my mom. Disciplinarian. So I grew up with a fear towards my mom. I love mom, but I feared her. So now we get to Form 3. Dad starts getting sick. And we don't think it's that serious. So we get to Form 4. First term. I come back for holiday and my dad has lost weight. So my dad alikunja hivi mguu. Akakaa hivi. Trouser ikapanda. And his booty ziko hapo chini. His sock rolled down. I don't know why, but I wept. That day is the day for the first time I told the deputy, call my mom. I want to speak to my own mother. She's the one who broke the news to us that your dad has cancer. Cancer. Oh my goodness. My world crumbled. Do you know immediately my mind started saying, who will defend me? Immediately alisema hivyo because we knew cancer. Sadly, after a few minutes, he passed on. That became the turning point. I met this guy. He was an amazing guy when we met. We were in the same choir.
Kaangukia kijana.
Remember, I have the loss of my father in me. So I'm looking for an affirmation in a man. That is girls and people, we have those kind of wounds. We look for our fathers in men. If we don't know how to distinguish the two, we will expect everything our dad was in a man. And partially that's an error.
Tell me he was nice. Tell me he treated you like your dad.
When we met? Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, he was.
Hey, what do you mean when you met? Hello and praise the Lord. How are you? How's you doing? How's your family doing? How's your business doing? How is everything about you? I believe the Lord has been good to you and He has kept you in perfect health, even as He prospers your soul. Welcome to Through the Ashes, the podcast where we get to give you stories of pastors' kids, the raw, unfiltered truth. Yes, we endeavor to give you the raw, unfiltered truth of our lives, our challenges, the things we went through for the sole purpose of ministry. This is just for ministry. It's for healing. Everything we share is not the opinion of experts. So please seek the correct counseling and guidance and counseling for your specific situations from experts. Everything we share here is from our experience for the healing of the body of Christ. Remember, we do not castigate pastors. We honor mentorship. We honor spiritual leadership, we honor sonship, and we have a place for fathers. So we don't share anything here to castigate men of God, to castigate churches, to castigate leaders. It's all about ministry. My name kama kila siku ni Grasher Maingi, and I believe you are ready for a roller coaster. Nilisema sitakangi kuimba msichana akiwa hapa because kwa kile yake anajambesa mbona kanaimba hivyo maofu. But let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, this one has been a long time coming. I feel a bubble in my spirit. Shatatatata. You are not ready. Walisema tukishikanishwa tukiwa wawili. In fact, tushapewa disclaimer. Kabla tuanze wasichana, nimewapea X amount of time. Unaona sasa producer wetu ashamaliza kutuambia, lakini wacha tuone mambo ya Mungu vile yanakaa.
Tuseme nini?
Siwezi kueleza.
Macho ambayo tunapewa ni ile ya kumbukeni.
I know, right? You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
This one has been a long one coming.
Da, 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 da. Here we are. Finally, shalom, brethren. Calvary greetings. Finally.
The Lord has done it.
Finally. First of all,
we are ungovernable. Me and you, they should not put us in the same
pot. Why they have said we have been given time.
A timeline.
And the ones that are here are so strict on it. No, hata tukianza kuambiwa, begin.
Lakini si tunasema tu hata unaona zile kanisa za kiroho vile kunaendanga zile za roho akishuka ni kushuka ameshuka ni kunena ananena
7 am
yes
7 pm ndo mnasikia tuanze kumaliza.
Mwasikia sasa tuanze kumaliza.
Bado
roho anasema, so pia sisi hapa roho anasema. Unaona sasa?
I love it.
But you're welcome.
Love it. I'm so happy to be here.
Please introduce yourself. Unajua nimerealize hata sija kuintroduce.
Wacha nikwambie, umefungwa tu hivi kamwanya hivi.
Alafu ikakuwa.
Mimi ni nani ninyamaze? Twende tukienda we move. You know, maybe Americans are watching. We move. Kasonge kakisonga. It moves. You know.
Lakini kwa nini umefanya nianze kusikia kana tunaweza imba?
Mimi ni ile unajua, this is the kind of friendship influential. Yani unatujua hivi unafeel tu sasa today
naona nikimaliza hapa leo nipige magoti hapa uniekelee mikono useme
unakosaje kuimba
impartation
na unajua
receive in the name of
Jesus. Soprano ile mzuri.
Hey, let me tell you, Meta tried to teach me soprano. Ask me
come
where I am right now.
You told me you've gone through Meza
kwanza kukua tuendelee Meza tutapatana
na yeye lazima by the end of this nini you will have to tell me the things you were taught. Yes. Nione kana kwamba wakumbuka.
He has done marvelous. Alafu sasa anakuambia uimbe kale ka sauti ka mwisho. Hebu introduce. Unaona tumeanza maneno yetu.
Well, hello people. Hello everybody. Praise the Lord. What's up? How you doing? My name is Liz Korir. Say kuna Pastor Liz Korir.
Liz Korir.
God's own, God's daughter. Daddy's got me. God's favorite. And I'm so happy to be here. Yani, I've been wanting to be here.
Nimekungojea.
You know? Nimekuwa nikiwatch tu nikisema J.
Alafu kwa hapo unani-DM uko kwa message unaniambia umeona message. Nilisema mtu yote ameona story yangu asijaribu kuniuliza kitu. Nilisema msijaribu kuniambia ati yo uliraje na demo. Do not ask me questions.
Nyote kafanywa
ikaenda.
Wewe tuka soup yani. Who is like our God?
Hi.
Who is like our God? He restores. There's a reason. Unajua, some of these names we give things, ministry podcast. We don't realize for you to own a name, you have to have gone through the process for it. So for you to say it's from the ashes, yeah? Like for me, Najua, one of the things, weirdly, that's how we've shared this before even off air. The ministry I carry or makeup, like my makeup business for so long has been called Beauty for Ashes. Yeah. I thought it was just a name I'm getting from one of the songs I love, Nikiwa Mdogo. He gives beauty for ashes, strength for fear. I loved it. Nikasema nachukua hiyo. One of the verses, Nile God anasema, I'm commissioning you, will go open the eyes of the blind, give beauty for ashes, because that's what. So I just thought it's just a beautiful name. Ile, oh wow, and you know, beauty for ashes stands for B, for, and A. So watu wengine ni before and after. Kumbe God lazima kupitishe mahali. When you speak of the beauty from the ashes, you have a testimony that I got to ashes, and here I stand as a testimony. So for you, kusikia hiyo yako. Hey, nilikuwa nasikia niko guy ati.
So
pause. What? But look at you. Who would have thought?
Wacha nikwambia sasa, you're about to tell us your story. So begin by telling us. Unajua leo tuko about kujua Liz and Cut. Sijui kama hii episode kwanza tuiite hivyo. Liz and Cut. Tuko about kujua the things about Liz we don't know. We see this beautiful mama on stage akiimba 7.
You know?
My God. So tell me, who's Liz? The young Liz growing up. Tell me, how was your childhood growing up?
We just open and dive in.
Open the Pandora's box.
Well, Liz Korir is the firstborn of 2. Or rather, let me say it sincerely, I am a secondborn of 3. If we consider the brother in heaven. So my mom and dad met at a very young age. I see their photos and I'm like, guy, mulianzana kitambo nyinyi watu. Like, I think my mom says she never knew any other man. Like, my dad was love of her life. Twende tukienda, and that man, akasema ni wewe, twende, hakuna mwingine. Macho yangu kwako, mimi wewe, kasonge. That's it. So they got the firstborn. I think I once, weirdly, I once opened a box and I saw his name. I didn't know his name. I don't even think my mom knows that how I found out the name. I found out a suitcase, opening the suitcase, imeandikwa Joseph. Someone. So my First, my brother was Joseph, but I never got to meet him. He passed away, and then Elizabeth. No, but then Liz ni Elizabeth.
Yeah, sijui kwa nini hiyo jina ikukai.
Wacha ndakwambia kwa nini. But Elizabeth C. Korir. I'm Liz.
The C is Chepgitu Chebarbar
Chepgitu Mahali Elizabeth Chepge Moi Korir. For those who have been asking, I'm a chapter more.
Do you know you refuse to tell me? Leo nimekushika.
Well, it is what it is. I'm a memo. I know, I am a memo.
Smart.
I am a memoy or a memo. Okay. So yeah, Chepge Moi Korir. That's it. I love nyumba yangu wana chebet. So we're just two girls, just Elizabeth and Faith. So I'm the second born, but automatically I became, actually I don't think many people know even in my mom's life that there was another. Yeah, so I came in and I was Liz, then there's Faith. So I grew up in a home like that. It was just, we were just four, mom, dad, Liz and Faith. And it was a close-knit family. We grew up well, but all my life, all I have known is church. Because when they met, they were not. But by the time I was coming into the picture, Mama alikuwa shaingia ministry. Her calling had already grasped her like this.
So it's your mom that's a pastor?
My mom is the pastor. In fact, a whole ordained reverend under Gospel Revival Center. She's a whole ordained reverend. She's among the first women under the umbrella of GRC to be ordained. It was so intense, they didn't do it in Kenya. Because in that season, it was not really nini for women to get into such spaces. So they did it in London.
Oh.
Yani, hiyo ni mzuri. Ordination, cool. Hint.
Naona ni kama pia ulikuwa unataka yako iko kwa Mungu akakwambia uko hapa. Assignment
ya kuanzia iko hapa ilhali hatujamalizana na Mungu. Hatujamalizana na Mungu. Maybe, you know what I'm saying? Hallelujah. Why do you think my English is polished? I'm ready. I'm ready for these things.
When they say listen, kama kachep kwa something.
Unachua ukitaka ni patilishe via. Lakini if I was talking like this, tungekuwa marafiki gani?
Hapana, haiwezekani by the way, si uongo. Mimi singekuwa rafiki yako.
So you are chatting me because of the way I speak.
Sijajudge mtu. I'm sorry, sijajudge. Continue.
I can continue like this. So what are you saying?
What I'm saying is that you have polished English.
Yeah, because I'm ready. It's good that you've reeled me in because you're right. Anyway, so yeah, so she was the reverend, but my dad stepped into that role of protective and also come up. My dad played the keyboard. Church, mimi nakwambia mzee alifanya vitu more, build the church walls, build, like he used his gifts and talents and everything, resources, men to where mom was pastoring to, but she was a co-pastor in Gospel Revival Center. I grew up in a small town called, now we say it Uthiru, but unambiangwa, that's not how ni Odhero. So I grew up in Uthiru, born and raised, by the way. Born and raised all my life. That's where if you go there is a post office, or where, I don't know if it's still there now, but there was a post office and then there were 3 windows due. That was my home. And my dad worked in the company that grew Uthiru as a town was called Ilri. Before it was Ilrat, now it was Ilri. That's where he worked. So he knew men, he knew people. That's where we started. That's where the church started. There was the lead pastor and then mom. So all my life, what I knew was church, because most of the time we have visitors at home. Ni home church. Unajua hizo siku, we are calling them family groups right now. But nilikuwa home church, home cell, ni door to door. Then bado zinaitwa home church. Yeah. Mali nimeingia size space. That's when I knew they were called family groups. But then I knew them as home cells actually. And you'd wear a tag in corresponding to where you. So if our home cell was, the theme was green in color, we'd wear the green band. So you'd identify your, yeah. So yeah, that's how I grew up. And school was let me say this, I grew up well. I was comfortable for what it was in that era, in the 90s. We lived well. My dad would make sure that before he's even sacrificing for the church, his kids are taken care of well. So I went to good schools. I went to I schooled in Cedar Grove Junior Academy, went to NPCA, and then came. I'm telling you, I'm groomed for setting up churches in America. What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Twitter bwana wa majua kuje.
I don't mean in fact, na feel ni kama na wachiki tu. You've kept me.
Liz's husband, please show up.
Wherever you are. So anywho, yeah, that's how I grew up, church nini, but then we were okay. Like my dad invested in education and all that. And then now mom was the pastor, but she knew how to become a wife in the house. But now again, when growing up, it's not like right now we are very clear on there's a cut between what's church and what's home. Yeah, so some of it would seep in. But I have to say they tried. They made sure there was a space near to Sisi, or there are days it's just us. But again, because number one, being a woman in ministry right now, it's still not easy. But then at least strides have been made to make sure there is a space for us. But it's akina my mom or people like that who paid the price. Because by then, being a woman in ministry, in position, it was very hard. But people would come home, understand, lead pastor hakuwa na issue theory. But the church is in the theory. So everyone who needed to run for help would come to Pastor Sue. So our home was the second church.
Nyinyi ndo mko mnaambiwa songea washirika walale.
Uzuri ni hawakuwa nalala home. Bado ulikuwa unasikia.
Ngoja embu songea washirika walale.
Mama kwa anapenda hiyo kitu.
Thank God.
Kenye ilikuwa ina happen ni unajua tu wakipika food there has to be extra. You never know who will knock the door. Ikuwe tunakula wote. But they made sure kama ni kulala. But this is the other thing. We grew up, by then it was a three-roomed. Ni kubwa, yes, but three-roomed. So our bedroom, the children's bedroom, separated by a curtain, was kitchen and bedroom. So kama kuna wamama wamekuja kupika, si lazima waambiwe songa, lakini nalala hivi kidogo unasikia nipatilishe. You peep through the curtain ni mtu anapika wa nyumbani. But they really tried. But that's how I grew up. Pastor's kid, all I have known are the four walls of a church.
Tell me about the relationship at home with your parents, with your siblings. How was that like?
I'm a dad. I was a daddy's girl.
You are.
I am. I'm still. I was a daddy's girl. Like, maybe because I was the first daughter and everything, we bonded. And you know, there's a thing with fathers and daughters. But then again, also there's a thing with lastborns and mothers. Right now is when we are trying to make sure these things, because I don't think our parents realized those things affected us until now we are speaking about it. You're like, hey, mi wane watoto ka middle child huruma sana. If you listen to them, you're like, wow. But so I was closer to that. So much so, I remember there was a day mom alinisomea kanambia buka hapa chini. My dad would go out nimemfuata. So and then where we grew up, bafu zilikuwa nje. Yeah. So he's going to shower, nimeenda kukaa kwa stairs mahali ati amalize turudi. What is that woman would.
Let me tell you, do you know children like you ni wale wenye baba akitoka mama atakushika kuchapa.
Mireke gwire. You want perfect example?
You.
Ta-da! I was a Velcro kid towards my dad. That's what they call him now. I was attached to that man. Yani, my dad was a vibe. My dad would get home. Ametoka practice. So he joined the choir. So why I also love singing and dancing, it stems from my dad. So my dad would come home, sitting room, ni kadogo, but it's just right, it's just enough. Achukue meza, aeke juu ya viti. Atuambe tuna practice ile song wana fanya. He takes the file ya choir. And before that anasema for warm up ni aweke song. Kama hata ni ya Rose Mahan. Ni bebe. Sasa dance. Dance as, see, keti nyim dance, tuna dance wote. So you take the meza, put it on the seat, create a dance floor. Aribikeni, dance, no judgment. We would dance. And he's there shaking his legs. He's there jumping from corner to corner. Like I could be me, you know? And those are the moments I lived for. And then after then, he's like, na sasa tusimameni, tunaimba. Sunday wamesema tunaimba carry your candle, tuimbe. In Christ alone. Baba, And we would sing we would sing, Grasher. We would sing. And I love mom, but I was so
Attached
to
your
dad,
yeah.
like extremely. Also because again, I grew up fearing my mom, disciplinarian. Mom ilikuwa.
Mama alikuwa ule wa
Unaona ile basi ya spare the rod, spoil the child. She took it extremely.
Ali understand the assignment. Ali
understand. Akasema, I got you, Jesus. I got you. Let me show you. My mama hata macho tu ilikuwa enough kukuambia, this is the day. The sparing will not be done.
Yeah.
So I grew up with a fear towards my mom. I love mom, but I feared her. Sana. Before dad aseme anakupiga. And then what he would use to cane us was a slipper. So the older the slipper, the lighter it is.
Yeah.
But dad, mom, mwiko. Those things, the older they get, the tougher and firmer they get.
Yeah.
So that's how I grew up. Mom was a disciplinarian, and then I always felt because Faith, my sister, was the last one, she was more in tune or okay with mom. Like she was preferred over I. That's how I grew up feeling. Up to now, kuna vitu zingine we would discuss. Wewe uliza mom, mi siwezi muuliza. In my grown nature, no, I still can't approach her. Later in life, when I tell even some of the things I went through, is because I couldn't tell her. And so we've cultivated a friendship after.
Like, tunapendana, but kuna ile place yenye, I can't tell you a couple of things because of fear.
I fear you, and then maybe, so I would feel like she would judge me harshly more than my sister.
I get.
There's wacha nikwambie, kuna incident sijaisahau when we were young. We were playing with my sister in the bedroom stroke kitchen, because ilikuwa moja. And then she breaks a plate. Hey, and I'm like, hey, Leo. My sister is just looking at me. Mom walks in. Nani amevunja nini? Kaambia ni Faith ame. Faith like, hapana, kusema, wewe ndo mkubwa. Hangenko, wait, si mimi. No, wewe ndo mkubwa, kuja hapa 10. Pa. I don't know why I always remember that, but I remember everything. Yani, sahani haikuwa mimi, lakini the same mwiko that broke the plate is the same mwiko that broke a part of me. That's what I keep saying. Because that's how do you understand? That's how I grew up. So yeah, so I think, come to think of it, it also affected how I served in that church, because the heaviness of serving in GRC was because mom was there.
Pastor.
So
and that's the image of...
And that's the image. And so that's the image I also got about this church. It was harder for us. We were two sets of PKs, the senior pastor and the Korirs. Yeah. So there was Pastor Kimani and his family, and then there was us, because mom was there. Yeah. So my service there was also because most of the time dad ako job, tuna serve na mom, but I can't.
Una serve na mtu unaogopa.
Unaogopa. But I would be so happy to get in the church, because now I'm released to the Sunday school or to the kids, so I don't get to be by my mom. Because if I'm next to her, I have a fear of doing so much. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, but that's how I grew up, basically. It was, yeah.
Tell me how the relationship was with dad, especially because she was the pastor and dad was the corporate guy. So how was that like between them?
Between them, it was a perfect balance. Because dad would ground. He will not look at everything through a very spiritual angle, but he was more of the corporate. Now, corporate opened the beautiful raha side of us, because Sunday tuko church, after tunaambiwa, the officers opened up a space for all their workers, their children, to go for an event. So you stop maneno your church, you go back, and it's party. And so their company had a swimming pool. By then, unajua ndo mnenda swimming. My God, na ni wazungu wa mwazunguka. Show. Niko nasema tu church ishe hivi tumeenda. So for the two of them, for their marriage, it worked, because again, there's always that balance. If they're two spirit, I feel like why our lives were comfortable in a way is because there was an understanding of when this stops and when this takes over. Because my dad was the alpha male. Yani, my dad would not let anything go down the drain, and he's standing there. Like let me say this, he was a present father, he was a present husband, he was a present friend, even to people around him. Like the perfect example of, I don't know how to say it, but then he was it. He was a perfect template. If he was a friend, he was a friend to Yani, kabisa. He was a brother, he was a son, but more so he was a husband. I saw it because my mom also was not really accepted by his family. But that man protected his wife. Yani, oh my God, he did not just say tutaomba about it because of the mind of more than church. He stood and put borders. So yeah, for us, I loved it that we had both sides. So for the corporate, for him, or mtu mwenye si church sana. But again, alikuwa elder wa church. But that did not get to his head that he could not see things from the physical aspect. He just didn't see things from the... So it also grounded mom. It also did. So they would have conversations. I feel like this has gone too far. Let's put a barrier. Let's protect our children from this. What they did, they really tried to protect that from the church side. There are things I never experienced until that man died. Because one of the things is they never allowed us to see some of the side of what church was or even corporate was. They guarded us. You know, they protected us. My mom had a safe haven in my dad. Oh my God. Like ile and us as kids. But I also loved where my dad worked. Mina unaenda swimo, hiyo ndo siku akisema, dad alikuwa anasema twendeni. We will run to the car because we know akisema twendeni, hatuendi seminar. Tumeenda raha. Na it's a simple things. Chipo kula mahali or go to his company. Like I love those things. My core memory is there's something called the mall Upper West. So back in the day, hapo chini there was a fish and chips joint. So when my dad, like I think my dad would pick when even school was overwhelming. Because tumemaliza hivi homework anasema twendeni. Come we go. At times he would pick me, just me. Mom is with Faith ataniambia, haya nimetoka kidogo. Eliza. Akisema tu Eliza.
Eliza na I'm imagining ukiitwa Eliza.
Yeah, you do. Eliza. Twende. We'd go. He won't speak. Sema unataka nini? Eat. And then opposite was an ice cream shop. So tumalize tuende hiyo side. And he's not asking, he's just sitting. My daughter, his pride is my daughter, have you? Breathe. Do be the girl. But there are conversations he would have with me, I would forget. Nimekuwa nikizikumbuka sai. My dad would affirm me. I think because of the fear of my mom and then of the society and everything, I started building a shell and I didn't realize I was doing that. My dad would sit with me, Grasher, tuko kwa hoteli niambia, unajua wewe ni mrembo, si ndio? Unajua uko sawa? You're a very smart girl. You're very gifted. Unajua unaimbanga kama nani? So niko hapa, you saw those pep talks. I think I forgot them along the way when he passed. But then that was, have I answered your question?
Yes.
Yes.
At what time did you start singing? At what age?
Umesahau tunaekewa meza juu ya viti tunaanza kudance and we are shouting.
Yeah, like so I am just trying to attach an age to it.
Let's say I have sung most of my life, but then when now I realized how intense what sauti ama kuimba, I think dad used to use me a lot for his rehearsals. I didn't understand why. Like my dad would, every rehearsal in the house for himself, I had to be part of it. I didn't get why. And funny thing, my sister can also sing. In fact, my sister has a very beautiful, oh my God, such a beautiful voice. It's just not her. So we would be grouped into voices as young as we were. But when I realized I can sing, I was in primary. I think I was in class, as young as class 5 or 4. Because now the teacher would be like, hiya, you can sing, or you can act, you can dance. So nikarushwa hizi vitu zote paka music festival. That's how I realized. But I don't think I was very confident about it. I didn't think it was a big deal. When we were growing up, gifts and talents were not it. It was education first. Kuwa lawyer, kuwa daktari, imba ukitibu watu. But see at hiyo ndo, you know, like how right now we've realized. You know, like how we Nilo mkisema mlikuwa mnaongea sana kwa class. Sasa unaambia uliza sasa ndo hii. Ndo yenye kuongea kwetu ndo hii. Ndo hiyo sasa. Ndo hii sama.
Kuimba yako ndo hii.
Kuimba ndo hapa imeleta. Hapa ambapo nakuongea sana.
Let me ask you, at what point did you come to realize that, oh wait, I'm a PK and I am expected to act like this, or the expectations over my head? At what point did that happen to you?
Do you really get a realization, or you're just groomed into it. You don't wake up to a light bulb. It's more of, that's the life I knew. Because you go into church, you're treated different from everyone. For example, if Uthiru was a very small town, everyone knew everybody. But so everyone would know, my dad is a high ranking in corporate. Ilri is the company that grew the town. So they would know, because my dad would come, pick boys, wanaranda kwa hiyo mtaa, pick them, create a job. If you go to Uthiru, there's a roundabout. If you look in the roundabout, there's a whole garden of plants and everything. And then there's a signboard that says, this project was by Ilri. It's because they didn't put his name, but it was my dad's project, looking for a way for kids to work, to get, because crime had begun to come up, drugs and everything. So akasema, socha nitafutia hao vijana kazi. He did that. Hiyo roundabout was my dad's project. So, everyone knew dad ni huyu and then mom ni huyu. So apart from church, outside the walls of church, everyone would treat us so harshly. Grasher, mimi nakwambia ungesimama hivi. There was a day nimesimama hivi na boy. Tunaongea. Mind you, these are guys we've grown up with. Like, because of the home church, one of the mama wa hiyo kikao ama tutaita nini. Yes. They used to come to our home. So his boys we grew up together from. But at a certain age now that you're starting to show, to become.
Yeah.
Mi na mjoka bro, tumesimama hivi. We are standing and talking. Kumbe, one of watu wa mtaa wameanza kusema, mtoto wa pastor wameanza, ndio huyu msichana wa pastor ameanza kusimama na vijana. On the ti, Baba Eliza, mtoto wako ndio huyu ameanza kutembea na vijana. Wameshikana huku. Amesimama hapo, mimi nimesimama. Already nimegrow with the fear of boys and nini, but this is my brother. Do you know we were standing with that guy for 10 minutes. Within the 7th minute, niliona heavy boots. Ndio huyu dad. Mkono, what? Tuende. Mtatuaibisha watoto wa pastor nini. So that's when nikaanza kurealize, let's say this is what happened. As I grew up, I realized, wait, there's a different kind of treatment when it comes to watoto si wa pastor na watoto wa pastor. So they expect the same life your mom lives is what you're living. There's an expectation that you can't dress a certain way, you can't eat a certain way, you can't talk to a certain. There's all these standards. I didn't know. And part of your childhood is being reckless. That's part of being a child. But that's taken away from you. Why? Because the society demands a certain way. Not within the church walls only, but outside the church walls. So I won't say at a certain age I realized, but I think the more I grew into teenagehood is when I'm like, oh, the standards are not the same for all of us. Me, I can't play. Let me tell you, I began to know the outside world from where we lived, I think, before I stepped into high school. We were indoors most of our lives. Ndo tusiharibike.
Wakuuliza sahi kama ukuharibika. Yeah. They should ask you right now. Did you or did you not haribika?
Shop rice. Kuharibika ilikuwa imenifuata hivi na niambia
hiyo kuharibika ndo nataka uniambie. So unaona hapo. But kabla tufike hapo kwa kuharibika. You said mama aliodeniwa London. What were the events leading to that? How did that come to be? Because you are here in Kenya, she's being ordained in London. I thought maybe you as her family would be there for her ordination because that's a big moment.
Yeah.
So how did that happen?
So it started as I think signed on nilikuwa najua what was happening. So they needed a representative, or she had served under the senior pastor for so long. So they needed to, Bishop Mzomba was the bishop of gospel. So he was like, they identified who she is and what she's been doing, especially for the community and everything. So because the rules were tougher here, they decided wataifanya huko. But the thing was, she was visiting, doing it and then come back. Because also they enrolled her, if I'm not wrong, mom did a course there for Bible and everything before she now became an ordained reverend. So the plan was not to go. We were in school Dad was working. So there was no need to uproot us and go. They work on it's easier. Waifanye tu. It was on, I can't even remember ilikuwa online. Nakumbuka tu I have a file of those photos. But it was not to go at Yakai. So the idea was to go afanye shule and then she comes back. But when she's there, they got the idea, oh, by the way, she can begin some sort of ministry here. So Mom moved in there and they talked with Dad and they agreed Dad will continue with the raising of kids here. Wafanye huko. Either ilikuwa tukimaliza we join. We didn't think it would be a long-term thing. Okay. So Dad was like his business, his ninis, everything is here. Let's do it. Let's not uproot the children and have them. Because again, by then also the systems huko were not easy for Black people and everything. This was kitambo. So that trauma, they didn't want us to experience it. Wacha si tukae. They had an agreement, that's fine. Wacha si tusome, tumalize. And then if it's our decision, we will join them. Because that would mean now again, putting everything under the church canopy, even Dad stopping. So Mom alienda kwanza coordination for the first, after amesoma 3 months, came back. Then there was talk of, the senior pastor continues here, anataka kumtuma huko endelee na ministry. They talked with Dad. I think I was in class 8 by then. Then she went and they were like, she'll do it for 2 years, come back. So that was the journey. So she would go, come back, go. She started doing akaanza job, akaanza nini in ministry.
She built a life there.
She built a life there. And as tulikuwa hapa na Dad and everything, now we are being raised by the man. It was okay. We would talk with Mom almost every day. It was okay now until that worked for us. I think it was comfortable for us. It was okay. I was not complaining tuanzie hapo. Mimi I feared Mom, so wako mbali kidogo.
Okay, una feel freedom is coming today.
Get ready, Mama. You know, things like that. But it was also, again, part of it was tough because
without a mother figure.
That, as a girl, you need your mom.
Yes.
Yani, there are things I remember the first time I started my menses, for example. You know, I couldn't talk. Nilishindwa ndaambia Dad nini. Namwanzia wapi. But my dad noticed. So he told the house girl, muulize ni nini na happened. Because nililala kwa floor. I was in so much pain. So much pain. So it's the house girl who helped me. Then Dad called my mama akamwambia, kuna vile kumeanza, mpigie muonge. So you see, it was a whole nini
change.
So she calls and she tells me and she helps me through it. But again, it was such, let me say, the fear I grew up with built some sort of self-esteem issue within me. And also, I've also grown up as a plus-size kid.
Yeah.
So even by then, not like now plus-size, we have a voice, you know, Jua, oh, you know, by then it was also, you know, but when there was that issue,
there was body shaming.
A stigma to that
a
also. So even the way I would dress, I would hide myself within the clothes. Again, also now, fear. Who do I talk to? There's no. So you see, growing up also without a mom by your side, it damages you kidogo. You just don't realize it. Yeah, so that happened. Part of my pre-married mom was not there, but she would go come. My grandmother was alive by then. So when Dad would feel him overwhelming, ushago. Guess ushago ilikuwa wapi? Guess tu, side ya mom.
Kikuyu.
Kayole fam. My grandmother lived in Kayole, so she first lived in Pangani, and then she went to Kayole.
Interesting.
So we went to Kayole for yenye ilikuwa cultural change ingine drastic. Isizo nyingine mkoku. So we would go. My grandmother would help where my dad felt we needed a woman's. That's where we would go. Until Shushuaka passed. Again, I was very close to my grandmother. She passed away, so Mom came, but she went back. So this thing continued even until when I got to form. My dad is the one who enrolled me in high school.
So you're going through all the seasons of life without your mom?
No, without my mom. Okay. Without my mom.
You talk
without my mom presently.
But she's not present physically.
Here. She's not here to see. She's not here to help me buy some of the things that I'm ashamed to ask my dad about. Vitu kama hizo. So I nikazoea ikakuwa niko tu sawa sasa. So we go all this way up until like finished from class 8, and now I'm going into high school. My dad enrolled me in that man, bless his soul. That man, yani niliingia shule na everything. He made sure we were okay. Kitu musema mpaka leo wish ningefanya. He wanted to see where I'll be sleeping. Come dad, utaingiaje room ya madem? Wingi huko kwa domu yao. Tunamwona teachers wako allowed day. Huko hapana. I wish I let him come in, but he was like, ni sawa, I respect it. But that's when now, from 1, from 2, mom came once. Now, I say my life took a shift when I got to Form 4. We were okay all this time. By the way, it's my dad who raised us. My mom played an input again, but evil. So now we get to Form 4. And in Form 3, dad starts getting sick. But sasa yeye ni mgongo, anasema, kaugonjwa here and there. And I'm now becoming a teenager, staki to spend time now, sana, I want to be the cool kid, you know, I'm a girl, I'm grown. But he starts getting sick, pole. But we don't think it's that serious. In the process in Form 2, dad alikuwa ameanza yes kichwa kidogo, but then now shusho passes. A year later, dad starts getting sick. But again, remember, he's the man who protects us from the troubles and issues. So hatujui sioni sana. Then he gets, that nikiwa Form 3, he starts making us, dad would make us talk to mom sana. More often. Nashindwa kwa nini? He just wants us to be in touch with mom sana nikiwa Form 3. Okay. Ile nakuwa in touch now. And then anytime we are home, dad wants to spend time with us sana. I didn't understand what was happening. By the way, it never made sense. But even on phone, my mom would be so tough. Hey, munafanya nini mko? Mume nini?
It's always one after the other.
But dad is insisting, keep talking to your mom. Keep building. Now I understand he was just trying to make us build a reconnection. It's not even me. Because he noticed I had withdrawn from my mom. It was so bad. There's a day I asked my dad, am I not my mom's child? The exact same question I asked my dad. Am I adopted? Alafu nikamwambia ni venye tu nafanana mama. Ama mtu anaweza fanana na mtu na si wake? My dad didn't answer me. But even after that, anasema ongea naye. Nashindwa ni nini?
Why are you forcing this person on me?
Why are you forcing this? So we get to Form 4, first term. I come back for holiday and my dad has lost weight. So my dad was a burly man and tall. Alikuwa anaingia home, unasikia funguo na footsteps. Because unajua tu dad ameingia. I nini. So during that, his hip gets a problem. So he's put on a crutch. And then he asks me to ende naye for a surgery. Mina nadhani kitu ndogo tu. Yeah, aliniambia it's his toe. Kumbe they were correcting something I just didn't know. And I'm waiting for him in the car. Anatoka anakuja. So he got to a point he would put a board in his seat kwa mgongo kwa gari akiendesha. And then he would insist nijifundishe. Sijui mbona nainzi. Mimi nakataa naona I'm comfortable. You do it for me. Why should I? So actually that was third term mwisho ya Form 3. Form 4 I come back and he's lost weight. Namuuliza dad, ni nini? Mama no, I'm fine. Nimekuwa nikikeep fit. But dad, una keep fit. Aje hivi. He's still insisting, no mom. Get closer to mom. So when it became here, nimerudi shule, term 2. One of kawaida days, dad shows up to school. Na ile siku ame show up, enye shetani overwork, is the day nimefanya punishment. I'm kneeling in the center of the whole school. Kwa flag post hapo mwa.
Sijui kwa nini walikuwa wanapenda kunyisha watu kwa flag post.
Kwa hiyo flag post ndo nimeambo kneel so that the whole school is watching me, the whole staff room is watching me. Nimepiga hapo magoti. I see our car. I'm like, Nikki, when they called my... No. Now, he parks the car and then a man walks out of the car. I'm like, where's dad? We'll see dad. He walks out And when the more he's coming, I realized, wait, only dad. Do you know I was kneeling? I sat down. Nilikaa chini kwa floor. I was so shocked. My dad had become so thin. There was a leather jacket he used to wear. He used to wear a corduroy brown trouser and a black leather jacket and a shirt that was dark brown na imeko stripes. But ilikuwa ameijaza. That man came to school, koti ndo imemvaa. The trouser looks like palazzo. And the shirt ameituck in, but you know how you tuck in, but then hapa. He lost so much weight. But the pride of the man was still there. He's come to see his daughter. Umekuja kuniona ile siku. Niko pano. Dad, of all days. Kwanza unafanya nini hapa? Nikashindwa kuongea. Nilishindwa kwanza kuongea. I think he saw how vile nimestuka. Kamba Eliza, unafanya nini hapa? Kambia, ni punishment. Okay. He goes in, sits. So my dad, I'll never forget. Alikunja hivi mguu. Akakaa hivi. When he did that, mguu is nini kapanda, trouser kapanda, and his boot is kwa hapo chini. His sock fell. Unaona how my sock imenishika? His sock rolled down. I don't know why, but I wept. Umekonda paka socks imekuachilia. And you're telling me it is well. Uko sawa? Hii si fitness. Apana, hii si fitness. And then his hair had become white. So white. So we go to the deputy. Nini. That day is the day for the first time I told the deputy, call my mom. I want to speak to my own mother. I never did that. In fact, walikuwa wananiforce kuja ongea na mom. I told my mom, dad is not well. I wept for an hour. Naomba nini kuja? Najua uko utahave kukuja. I think my mom ikamgonga. Is it that bad? So when mom came 2 weeks later. When she came, she's the one who broke the news to us. That your dad has cancer. It is well, fitness. You protect. Why you for not to protect me? From the word go. Cancer. Oh my goodness. My world crumbled. In every sense of the way. It went from seeing the alpha protector of the home to become somewhat like a baby. Do you know, immediately my mind started saying, who will defend me? Who will stand for me? That's who he was for me. He was my defense. He was my... So who immediately alisema hivyo? Because we knew cancer. It was so bad it started affecting me. Do you know they hired a counselor for us? But more so for me to sit. Kwa naambia counselor, my dad will be fine. Mungu atamponya lazima. I don't know if he ever told my mom. Nilimwambia, who will I be left with? Who will I be left? He has to leave. Because if he goes, we go together. Because no, you can't. Nini nikwambia, yeah. Tutakaa na nini? And then I went mute. Sadly, after a few nini, he passed on. Hey, that became the turning point for me, for everything. I say this, as they lowered my dad, they lowered a part of me. Yani, my eyes of the world, now my perception of the world was through fear. Who will be there for me? After we buried him for the first time, I took myself to school. Mama never let me go to school alone. As grown as I was at nikiwa form 4. In fact, kwanza form 4 alikuwa amesema sasa ujue. He took me to a hotel in Karen somewhere. And he was like, unaona hapa? Ukimaliza hivi form 4 hata kabla results, we will come celebrate the doing of the Lord that you went. Nishaongea nao niwaambia, ukimaliza hivi huko ndo tunakuja. Every time I pass through that curve as you're going into Karen, it's there. Nakumbukanga, hapa ndo tulikuwa tukuje. We celebrate the doing of the Lord. So who will celebrate me? So now my lens of even, I didn't know But the lens by which I viewed God changed then. Because you get, who am I running to? Ukianza nitaanza, kwa hivyo jishikilie tafadhali. Jishikilie hivi. Sembusi ile ambacho nimejaribu kujishikilia mimi, because if you start,
I am trying to stretch my hand to
the
be clear.
floodgates of heaven shall open. Please hold yourself together.
Hey, my goodness.
Hold yourself.
Lakini Jesus. Kwa nini unatufanyanga hivi
Father, in the name of
Jesus?
Jesus, hold the floodgates of heaven.
Jesus.
Please.
Wewe mimi wacha tu nikae na yangu hapa.
Tuna yangu cha mimi leo nakushow. Siri mimi siri. Siri.
Ukatakulia.
Siri mimi.
Wewe usema uri.
Siri. Anyway, so yeah. And sadly, remember my mom was protected by this man, yeah? He loved her. He covered her. He said, I got the children, you go do what God has called you to do. So I think even she, a part of her, went with that man. This was her husband, the first man she ever knew, her boyfriend, her fiancé, the father of her children, everything.
So everyone was grieving in their
Everyone was grieving in their own way. I remember before we lowered him to the casket, my mom went and sat somewhere. I went, ran, held her feet and sat chini kwake. Nikalia. Do you know my mom just looked at me and then looked away. And she cried. If I had been this grown by then, I would have interpreted that. But by then she just looked at me and then looked away. I think at the back of my mind walikuwa zile za ntaanza wapi. She had not stayed with us for a while. Ntaanza wapi? I'm the reverend of this. Ntaanza wapi? Where do I start? Everything was in Dad's control. So now, in the whole town, there was judgment even on her. Pastor, mwetuombea si tukapona, bwana yako hajapona. You know, there's stigma for that, and then there's us. I go back to school. Yani, it was a mess, but I held it together. Why? I'm the firstborn. You're a first. That's one of the things as you grow up. In fact, hata nikirudi shule tulikalishwa nikamwambia sasa ujue baba yenu ameenda. Wewe ndo firstborn, things have to be in order, msituaibishe. There was mama's even best friends wakina mama Butela. Sasa ujue kila mtu atuangalie, msipate mimba, msinini. Eliza, usituaibishe, usiaibishe mama yako, isikuwe ati wakati babako alikufa, that's when you're the firstborn. Act like one.
That's what you've been told after your dad has passed.
So, and then during the whole burying him, the process, remember I told you my mom came, hakuwa was not accepted huko. The night we had to bury my dad, we get into a car tukienda kukakwama matope. Tell me the audacity of my auntie, my dad's sister. Alikuja na tractor, lori na watu. Wakabeba the casket of my dad, wakabebana vitu zake, and they left us in the mud. My mom and her daughter slept in a car the whole night kwa chief nje. Thank God we had snacks. Ile kuonyeshwa, you are nothing. The one who kept us in check about you is gone. Tumebaki peke yetu. I remember nikiamka katikati ya usiku when I found my mom crying, praying. Akisema nitaanza wapi? What now? She cried. She didn't know I was awake. So I think all that became too much for her. I go back to school. I clear. My mom has already left for the UK. Before I go back, correct. After my past, before I go back for that time, mom made sure we moved. We used to live in Utero. We go to Kino. So I come back to an empty house. And it's just me. My sister is still in school. Me nimeclear. It's my cousin who cleared me from high school. Tumekuja tumekaa. Nimekaa peke yangu. Kumbe that was now my life. So mom comes back for a while. She enrolls me to do a course. Partially, I didn't like the course, but I did it anyway. I did food. I'm a whole chef. I'm a certified
madam.
food and beverage production.
Ni kama utaanza kusema utupikie.
Mimi nakwambia ilhali sipendi mimi. Sipendi. I loved computers. I wanted to do programming and networking, but it didn't happen. So she enrolls me and then kambo nenda ukapike. Indo course itafanya kukuwe na pesa. By then cooking, nursing was a whole thing. So my other option was nursing, but tukaanza na hii. So by the time I'm clearing, I was in poly. Mom had gone. 2008 was the last time I saw my mom. So she left. Nakaenda. So now you guys, jipangeni. But this time I don't have a net. I don't have my dad. Na ametuacha wapi sijakwambia, by the way. Kabla aende ameenda kupreach Maximum. And then I sing before mom preaches. And the reverend is like, wow.
Unataka huyo msichana ni wa hapa kwetu.
Huyo ni
unaweza tuachia tupatie.
Flesh and blood did not reveal that to you.
Alafu akasema nimewaachia.
Sasa nani alipata ulikuwa hapo?
Let me tell you. It's the same way. Our pastors like it's the same.
Aki, exact words. Reverend aliambia mom, sasa huyu niachie. Nitamchunga atakuwa wangu. Kabisa, you go do ministry, because they knew she's going back. So by then I had moved from GRC, nilikuwa a church called St. Mary's. That's where they also groomed me to sing. Guys, there's so much that happened hapo. Before Dad died, I had moved to St. Mary's because it was the in thing. He was so mad. Hata tubaki GRC. Hapo maja naona hata wewe hapana, wacha watoto waende mahali Mungu amewakubalisha wakue hao. So mom fought for us tukaingia hiyo. So by the time now mom is leaving, I'm uprooted from, and I accepted. I was like, nitaenda. Good thing, this is the thing, mom never forced me to walk into Maximum, for example. She asked me, even though nimeambiwa, do you want to?
Je, kweli unataka kubaki?
Ingelikuwa ni wewe,
ungebaki
pale ama ungeenda mahali unaona ni kupia na kuzuri kukubwa.
Wewe ukasema mama, napenda hizi mataa zinawaka.
Hizi mataa sijaiona live band.
Yeah, fanya hivi niache huko.
You know what? Alafu by then this Bishop Mwiro anajulikana, this one. Nitaenda huko. Ningeliambiwa, ningelijua mimi.
Ungebaki
kule kidogo. Not because it was bad, but because it was a huge ministry. And I am walking in as a child. My mom goes, the beautiful thing, Bishop and the wife. You people know him as Bishop and Rev and everyone, and you speak. Me, I know them as mom and dad. They stepped in. Kwanza Rev became mama alikuwa ananika guy. But anyway, mom leaves and goes, and now I am into a new era of ministry. Grasher.
At that time, do you have a boyfriend? You know, I'm imagining you're a teenager, post-teenager hivi kidogo, umemaliza shule. Embu tell me.
Tuanze hivi, unakumbuka niligrow up na stigma ya.
Yes, yeah, boys. Yeah, I remember that.
Boys unaweza mkaribia hivyo.
Yeah. Ulishainuliwa hivi. Ukabebwa na babako.
Hivi, nimeinuliwa, so even the boys within, wameniogopa. But I moved to a church called St. Mary's. I moved to a church. Na huko, the youth are singing. Boys, young men are singing for Christ. They can't be errad.
Umesema hivyo nikakumbuka ile ngoma ya Shusho Saina trend. It's a long time song. Kijana kanichukua kanitengeneza. Hey, so boys wakoko wametengeneza wanaimba.
My God, there's a guy there already spotted. Shy guy. My God,
you've already spotted someone.
Handsome man, anointed for nations.
Shakatata.
Anaimba hivi, tunaimba hivi, so na imagine tukiimba. Rakataya.
Unafanya kusema we will be that couple.
You know, power couple. We walking like these heavens are there with us back.
White.
Ribaganda, Rekataya. You are coming. What are you saying? Worship experience kude hivi.
Wewe unaimba hivi, una dance side yana kuimba. Mna harmonize pamoja. Sio
tunaimba takani song ya Rosemary. Ni bebe lakini tuko hapo tu.
Mnabebana.
Tumebebana we.
Tell me about this guy.
I met this guy. He was an amazing guy when we met. Very shy. Very shy, but he could sing. We were in the same choir. Very shy. This guy was always in a gray hoodie and looking down, so you could only see this part because he's shy. So hiyo ni kabla nimalize ndo move into St. Mary's. That was the church. And tumejuana, we like each other, blah, blah, blah. But then I can't do anything because baba yangu bado ni ako alive.
Oh, but then dad was
still alive. Moto wakuotea mbali. So, but then I detach, I go back to school, finish my high school. And then I come back, now I'm done. Dad amepass. I had just stepped into St. Mary's and then I go back to school and I'm imesahau. So I step back out. When I'm finishing Form 4, remember there was that year gap before he comes, before I enroll into poly, there's a whole space. I'm alone at home. Wow. Okay? So now I can freely go to St. Mary's without fear or judgment. Who's gonna hold me back?
No one.
I'm my own parent. I'm my own. I got this. I used to go every Sunday. And we are singing together. Mind you, before I joined the worship team, on Wednesday nimesimama nyuma wanaimba. Na nimesimama nikaimba unakuwa congregation venye wao kuja tumeimba wao. So the guy sitting in front of me is the choir lead and he had me and he turns back and he says, "We have practice tomorrow, please join us." I'm like, "For? Have you heard yourself? We need your voice." So I'm like, access granted. Tutaimba na and I joined the worship team. But it was a good thing because that season, that church, oh my God, those people would sing. Diocese yote ya hiyo nini, they would know this choir ya hii church. We want to do, you know. That's where I met the guy I liked. Oh my God, I fell
head over heels, ukaanguka,
ukabingirita. Head over heels.
No, ulianguka tu ukabingirita from Mount Elgon.
Kuna head over mountains.
Yeah, head over mountains.
Kuna hiyo.
Tutaanzisha leo.
Wachana na hiyo.
Tutaanzisha hiyo.
Kuna nini ingine greater?
Kuna head over aeroplanes.
Or wachana na hiyo. Gani ingine?
Sasa head over the skies.
Sasa mimi sijui kuna ingine. Ilhali hiyo kuna rolling above all the skies. That's what I did.
Kaangukia kijana.
Remember, I have the loss of my father in me. So I'm looking for an affirmation in a man also.
And you have a voice.
So the first man that came into my life, nayo kasonge kakisonga. And I loved the man. And because I am energy,
Tell me he was nice. Tell me he treated you like your dad.
When we met? Oh yeah. He was
Hey, what do you mean when you met? Ghafla bin mbuse simba. Zinataka kwa nini hizo? Sembuse.
Kufumba na kufumbua.
Yeah, I was looking for that one. Kufumba.
Wahenga
no sooner had you.
Walipo tupaka mgongo mafuta na chupa ya samaki. Let me tell you, he was so good. He was so good. He was, remember, because he's shy, he's so gentle. Okay, so is he the opposite of who I am?
Yeah.
Bubble.
You're an extrovert.
He's introvert. He's withdrawn. But when we're together, just the two of us, the mask falls off. He's so bold. He's so good. He treats me well. The fatherly figure is what I'm looking for. Daddy's girls and people, we have those kind of wounds. We look for our fathers in men. If we don't know how to distinguish the two, we will expect everything our dad was in a man. And partially that's an error. So that's what happened. Love the guy. Tukasonga. So by the time natoka, mama amekuja, preach maximum, so I'm being asked to go to that side.
I think we need to find a way to pause this story. Hii story hata sijui nika tutamaliza leo.
Sure.
Haiwezi isha leo. So what we are going to do, we are putting a pin on that part because there is definitely more coming to you right after this. Next week, same place, same everything. Pasi will be continuing with her story because hatujafika kilele bado. Mambo huku mbele ni moto. So you better buckle up. Let's wait and hear what she has for us next week, same place, same time. In the meantime, let's keep our interactions on our social media handles, and also let's keep the conversation going at Grasher Maingi on every social media handle. And also please like, comment, share, subscribe to this podcast. We will be glad to hear your feedback. If you also are PK or you know a PK who would love to share their story, please reach out to us at throughtheasheske@gmail.com. We will be happy to host them. But in the meantime, tuonane next week, same place, same everything. My name is Grasher Maingi.